Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back for another video. So today's video is going to be about literature review in research. Grab your bottle of water, let's get into it. So what is literature review? A literature review is a survey of scholarly sources related to a specific topic or research question. It is often written as part of a thesis, dissertation, or research paper in order to situate your work in relation to existing knowledge. A literature review is not an annotated bibliography, a list of unrelated sources, or an argument about the importance of your research. Here are the steps of a literature review. Select the topic, search the literature, develop the argument, survey the literature, critique the literature, and write the review. Let's talk about the literature review process. First things first, select a topic. Pick something that interests you. Select a research interest from the everyday interests, and then use the interest to choose your research topic. Second, search and choose literature. Find materials that are relevant to your topic. In scanning your literature, manage your data properly by documenting the author, book title, etc., and your key ideas. Map your materials. Decide what data will be relevant to your research. Third, analyze and interpret the literature, developing our argument and critiquing the literature to ensure that it supports our thesis. Last but not least, write the review, composing, molding, and refining the literature. The written literature review becomes a work that accurately conveys the research that can be understood by the intended audience. Here is the importance of literature review in research. Provides the interpretation of existing literature, brings out the dialects of contradictions between various thoughts, indicates the current research place in the schema of a particular field, helps in calculating the impact of the latest information. Research gaps scrutinized initially are further explored. We will discuss about research gaps in a moment. Provides information for relevancy and coherency. What is literature research gap? Gaps in the literature are missing pieces or insufficient information in the research literature. These are areas that have scope for further research because they are unexplored, underexplored, or simply outdated. A research gap is a question or a problem that has not been answered by any of the existing studies or research within your field. So this is basically the missing piece of the puzzle that needs to be searched for. Sometimes you will find a research gap if all the existing research is outdated and in need of new updated research. Or perhaps a specific population that has not been well studied. For example, perhaps there are plenty of studies on teenagers and video games, but not enough studies on toddlers and video games. These are just a few examples, but any research gap you find is an area where more studies and more research need to be conducted. Here are the 7 research gaps: evidence gap, knowledge gap, practical knowledge gap, methodology gap, empirical gap, theoretical gap, and population gap. Let's look at the 7 research gaps and get a more clear understanding. The first is the evidence gap. The evidence gap has little or no evidence to address the research problem. The knowledge gap. knowledge may not exist in the actual field. It might be the case that the research result of a study differs from what was expected. Practical knowledge gap. When professional behavior or practices deviate from research findings or are not covered by the research. Methodology gap. A distinction in research methods is needed to have new insights or to avoid ambiguous findings. Empirical gap. Research findings need to be evaluated or empirically verified. Theoretical gap. Theory should be applied to certain research issues to generate new insights. Lack of theoretical knowledge may lead to a gap in research. The last but not least is the population gap. Type of research gap that leads with a population which is not adequately represented or under-researched in the prior research. For example, gender, age, or race. We have reached the end of our discussion. Please leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe. Turn on your post bell notifications so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Also, please comment what you liked about this research literature and what you would like to see in my next video. I've been your host, Jessica Mbambo, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!